Hello and welcome back to the When You're Podcast, the podcast for when you're doing anything. Today we're talking about when you're watching Transformers. And I mean the first live action one. I don't mean like the new one that just came out. I'm talking about the original, the first one. You know what I mean? I'm talking about that one. The one starring Shia LaBeouf, dude. That one, let's talk about it. Starting off with the boy, the homie, Shia LaBeouf. I mean, this guy. There's something that has to be said about that early Shia LaBeouf era. I mean, that guy was absolutely charismatic. He was so charming. He fit the teenager, just like kind of like that boy next door kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like that neighbor who's just like kind of geeky, but he's not like a full on nerd. Like he's just a. You get what I'm saying? Like he just fits that character so well. And I feel like him as Sam Witwicky, I mean, it was just typical, typical kind of like teenager vibe. Like he was just kind of that kind of guy that, let's just say he's just that regular dude that we see, you know what I mean? He's not really super special to him. But that's kind of what the character is, and I kind of like that about it, you know what I mean? It's really cool to see that, so I feel like he knocked it out of the park on this one. And, Megan Fox is in this movie, you know what I'm saying? And she does great in it as well. Kind of disappointed she didn't stick around for the third one, but that's more of the, you know what I mean? That's more of like the behind the scenes, you know what I mean? So, but I thought she was really good. I think she added some great characterization for herself and for, you know what I'm saying, for Shia LaBeouf in the movie. So essentially, it's just your basic teenage problem. Like he wants his first car, and he gets his first car, and he gets this really beaten down old car. You know what I'm saying? It works sort of, right? But we start to realize there are a little bit of issues with it, you know what I mean? And not like your normal engine or battery or, you know, kind of extra those kinds of trouble. We're talking about like the thing just like has a mind of its own kind of a trouble here. And well, you know, long story short, there's a symbol on the car wheel. Not like the outside wheels, I mean like the steering wheel. My fault. I meant the steering wheel. And okay, we'll come back to that. But what I'm trying to say is that he's just a regular guy wanting a regular car, you know what I mean, and just trying to go through high school. You know what I mean? And he also has these glasses that his grandfather passed down to him, or kind of like just gave it to him, and he's selling them on eBay. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know how much glasses cost used, but like there are certain circumstances that have to, you know what I'm saying? Certain circumstances to where you gain a profit from it, but he's just selling them. Like they're his grandfather's like memento to his child, or to his child's child. His grandson are these glasses, and he just decides to sell it. I mean, I get it, but it's also like, where do you draw the line? And it's like, shouldn't you just hold on to it? Like he's probably not going to sell it for that much money anyways. But overall, this movie is about humans and machines coming together to unite against other machines. It's essentially the whole plot. But so I was talking about on the steering wheel there was a symbol, and it's the symbol of the Autobots. It's the Autobot symbol. Why am I talking to you like you don't know what I'm talking about? All right, I just want to say that like that's kind of where this whole place is leading. His car is not a regular car. 'Tis a special car, a unique car, the specialist of all of like thousands upon millions of cars out there, right? And it's about like, how do they work together? Can machines and humans work together? Long story short, in this particular case, in this movie, they try to like say, yes, they need each other and they work together and they come together to create a better world. And it's always kind of like, how can humans really help the Transformers? Because they're giant robots that can think. You know, they're AI. You know what I mean? They think for themselves. They're their own. They have their own personalities and like way of life. They just mimic cars so that way they can be peacefully living their, so that way they can be chilling. You know what I'm saying? But like, how can we really help them? It's not like we can just be like all buddy buddy with them, right? We'd use them for war against other humans. You know what I'm saying? So once we know they're out there, like if we figured out that there were Transformers in the real world today, we would definitely use them to wage war. We would create our own Transformers from Transformers. And I think they do that in like some other movie, or like they, you know what I'm saying? Like they bring it all together. But let's just talk about the Transformers here. So we meet the Transformers, and these Transformers are dope. I gotta say, dude, Bumblebee? Oh gosh. What's something we can't say about Bumblebee that hasn't already been said 1,000 times? He is, without a doubt, I mean, I'm not gonna say he's definitely top tier. He's definitely one of the top tier Transformers, but that's, mainly because he's the most recognizable, right? And he's really the heart. He's really the heart of the franchise. You can say Optimus Prime is the leader, you know what I mean? He's the head figure. He's definitely the most dominant, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely up there, top tier character. He's a very prominent figure, very strong. He's definitely the head of the franchise. But Bumblebee, dude, Bumblebee's definitely the heart, and he has such a likable personality, especially because of the fact that he doesn't have like I don't want to say he doesn't have his own unique style, but it's like he kind of has he can't talk. So that's something I really like about him, is that he has no natural quote unquote voice, really. What he has is more of like a speech through like AM radio or like conversation, or, whatever they put on the radio, and he just changes the channels. I really like that about him. I think that's such a interesting trait that some of the other ones don't have, and it's a good use of dialogue and how they can communicate, with humans. And I like that. But Optimus Prime, dude, I forget the voice actor's name. Hold on, let me find the voice actor's name, because that voice actor earns his paycheck. Optimus Prime voice actor. It says, Okay. It says Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen, dude, that guy earned his paycheck. That guy does Optimus Prime. I mean, that guy could say, he could deliver so many inspirational speeches doing his Optimus Prime voice. It would be unreal. It would legit change. His voice can change lives. He could give seminars to students and teach them how to become billionaires, and people would be interested because of his voice and his voice alone. Right? It's like listening to an audiobook from Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a difference there. Or like a documentary by Samuel L. Jackson. There are just certain distinct voices that you just like hearing, and because they're so unique and so fresh, and because they have like a certain tonality to it, it just like, it perks your ears up. It's nice to listen to. It's good to listen to. And because of that, it just kind of enlightens you. It gives you a little something, It gives a little sprinkle of something on there. You know what I'm saying? And he does that for Optimus Prime, and it's absolutely amazing. So, and then the other Autobots, they got like Jazz up in there. I think that's his name, Jazz. He's like the Porsche, I think. And then they kind of they sprinkle in like a bunch of other ones, but they're like supposed to be like smart and analytical, and but they can kind of are like tactical and fighting, but we don't really know them as in depth as Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. They're really interchangeable per se, even though that's they shouldn't be, but they are. Which is, not good, but, their characters are not fully out there. And then I was just thinking about, like, because obviously this movie was made in, 2007? It was made in, like, that time, right? It was made in 2007. So we really weren't, like, raving about electric cars back then. Or maybe we were, and I just wasn't totally keeping an eye out for it, but like, imagine if there were Tesla Autobots. Like, imagine if all the Tesla cars that were made are Autobots. That would be, dude. It would be nuts. It would be so weird, but also kind of like that's why the cars are so good. Is because like there's a little something to it. You know what I mean? It's not just electricity. It's the fact that he created these transformers, and time will tell, how it develops. But if there were Tesla Autobots, I don't know, things might be a little bit different, but because they're kind of what's the word? They're just regular cars, but they're not. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Let's talk about the Decepticons and Megatron. So essentially, the way that this is working is the Autobots are the good guys, woo! And the Decepticons, well, they're the bad guys. And their leader is Megatron. And what Megatron wants is not good. So essentially, their homeworld, the Autobots and the Decepticons' homeworld, Cybertron, is dead. It's dead. All right? It's a dying planet. It's not there anymore. Now the Autobots like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Jazz, all of the other ones, like the other Autobots, they're just like, guys, our planet died. We need to find refuge at another place. And they found Earth. They were like, there's this little blue planet right over here. And they got cars over there. We can chill. We can hang out over there. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, what happened, you know what I mean? Our planet died, and that's it. That's all there is to it, Let's just let's just live peacefully amongst the humans. And the Decepticons are like, screw that, dude. I want Cybertron back. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring it back to life. Or essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring back Cybertron by sacrificing Earth, I think. I think that's the whole thing. So they're trying to bring it back, and they wage war against one another. So the Autobots are trying to protect Earth to save it from becoming Cybertron again, because if they bring Cybertron back, they're just going to be living on a dead planet. It's not going to be, and they'll be killing the humans. And Optimus Prime isn't down with that. He's not cool with that stuff. And so it's Megatron versus Optimus Prime, and it's the good Transformers, the Autobots versus the Decepticons, and everything just comes to a full-on war. But I kind of thought about, like, what would war on Cybertron look like? Like, let's cut out Earth. Like, let's get rid of all the humans, right? No humans at all. Just Autobots, Decepticons fighting each other. What does that look like? What is, how is that? What's the CGI on that? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, on Earth, they're a lot bigger, so they look like they have like a slow movement to them. Whereas if they're on their own planet, which I assume is a lot bigger, you would imagine it'd kind of just be like humans fighting humans. It's pretty quick. They can jab, they can throw, they could really box out there. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just wonder, like, what would that war look like on Cybertron instead of always fighting on Earth? But obviously, it's easier to fight on Earth because, you add in some humans, the stakes get raised up a bit, and I guess the scenery just looks a lot better than a gray machine background sort of thing. But anyways, what would our military do? Like Autobots, because obviously we have to join forces to stop the Decepticons, because there are more Decepticons than there are Autobots. Like, more Decepticons want to bring Cybertron back than Autobots want to stay on Earth and live peacefully amongst humans. So the military, our U.S. military, like, that's another thing. It's like they don't. I mean, they do, but they don't. But it always seems like whenever anything big happens, they make it in the U.S., and it's like, the world's very big, all right? Some things can happen in Canada. Some things can happen in Mexico. Some things can happen in South America. Like, you know what I mean? There's a whole world out there. It doesn't have to just be the United States, but whatever. What I'm trying to say here is that Earth, is it like the best home for Autobots? Like, imagine if they lived on Mars. Like, I don't know if they need oxygen, to be fair. But, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure Mars would be cool. And it's not like we could go there in a flash. You know what I mean? So, if they claimed Mars, I would be okay with that. You know, what's wrong with them claiming Mars? But I guess Earth is... I mean, let's be real. Earth is a lot cooler than Mars. And another thing is that, like, let's say all of the Transformers, all of the Autobots, Decepticons, whatever. What if they all just decided to take over Earth, and it's our military versus these big robots? Are we winning? Because that would be a good horror movie. That would be a good, like, sci-fi thriller action movie. Us versus all the Transformers. Would we win? Hypothetically speaking. I say maybe. It depends on how many Transformers we're up against, right? If it's like a full-on, like, million army of Transformers, then probably not. No. But if it's like, you know what I'm saying, like a good... Let's say there's 15, 20 of them. Maybe we have a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because one of them can absolutely destroy a whole city. But 10 of them, that'd be devastation, unknown. But if we can just get our eyes on them, if we know where they all are, then yeah, I think we got a good chance. But that's why we work together. Working together is a lot better. And let's say the Transformers live amongst us today, right now, like right here, right now. Who, if we found out somebody owned that car, would they be a celebrity? Would it be a big deal? Would it be crazy? Like, imagine if Jay Leno, because he has a bunch of cars. Imagine if Jay Leno owned like two Autobots. Right? We would be like, what? Dude, you were keeping this from us? And he had no idea either. But he just has all of these crazy cars that it's just kind of like natural to him to kind of own it, to kind of have it. You know what I'm saying? So it would be weird, right? Because in the movie, Sam Witwicky goes into like this big, he becomes a part of like, he joins up with the military, he joins up with the Autobots because they're a big deal. He gets into a position of power with all of these other really important people to like save the world. So it's like, if I owned an Autobot, I would kind of, I would be amongst them. I would be chilling. I'd save the world. I'd be Sam Witwicky. You know I'd definitely do that. So, and if I own an Autobot and he like runs away, can I claim, like, is that like a missing car? Right? Because like if you have insurance, right, and your car gets stolen, I guess obviously you report that your car got stolen. But do they give you a new car? Like, how does that really work? Because like if my Autobot just runs away, now I can't go to work. Do I? How does Is that is that is that a thing? Is that possible? Can I get another car? But enough about that. Let's talk about that ending. The ending with that final speech from Optimus Prime. I'm telling you right now, dude. It is the greatest ending to a movie. I'm not going to say ever, but it is an amazing ending. It is an amazing ending to a movie. And I have to say, dude, bro, that speech. Like I was saying, dude, Peter Cullen could definitely, you know those, what's it called? Oh, those cameos where you pay somebody to like talk. They say like happy birthday. It's good to see that you're turning like 35, or you know what I'm saying? Like you just pay celebrities to say certain stuff and you can make money from that. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you did that with him and he just says his speech again and then you play some Linkin Park over it. Ooh, dude. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't remember watching Transformers, if you don't remember watching it, I didn't watch it in theaters, all right? I missed out on that. But I did watch it on DVD, and when I watched it on DVD, and that ending bangs, dude. That ending definitely goes hard. So when it comes out to the end, right, and he finally finishes his speech, and they go, "What I've done," dude. Oh my gosh, crazy. Like if they you know what they should do when they're definitely making another Transformers, but when they do that again, you know what they should definitely do? They should re-release the first Transformers in theaters, right? And then everybody should show up just for that ending part. Oh, that'd be so hilarious. And I remember after I watched it on DVD, I was playing Guitar Hero. They released Guitar Hero on the Wii. And I used to play it, and they had that song from Linkin Park on there. And I used to play that song all the time because it would remind me of that ending. And it was just, it's such a great song. Such a fun song as well. So shout out to Linkin Park. But anyways, it's just a great closing song, you know? Some songs do that. And some songs are kind of just like, what? Like, why did they end it on that? You know, there's certain songs that don't make any sense at the end of a movie. And when you watch it, you're kind of just, you know, when you hear it, like when I went to go see Across the Spider-Verse, right? That ending song was fire. It was amazing. And it just fit perfectly, you know. It was a good hit. It was a big hit, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't compare to the ending of, I mean, they're two different endings, obviously. But this Linkin Park ending, I'm telling you, dude, heat. I mean, the fire, the flames that came out, like, you know how the directors will do like a little screening for themselves, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll get together and get like a final. No, the editor who added the music in afterwards, right? Because they do the voiceover and then they add the music at the end and then they do the credits, right? I'm sure that was the last thing that they did. And when I tell you, dude, when they put it all together at the end and they were like, I wish I was there at that moment. That editor who added in the song at the end, bro, it must have been so. He he definitely delivered. He definitely did it right. But I'm just saying, like, imagine the feeling of him like with his headphones on and him adding the song in there, and then all of a sudden he just goes, "What I've done," and he's like, "Oh, yep, just cook this up in my editor's table right here on the computer. Check this out." And then he shows it to the director, Michael Bay, and he's just like, "Yo, check this out. Check out this ending." And then he goes like, "We will be there." What I done, dude. I wish I was there for that moment. I wish I was there for that moment, and I wish I could have seen their faces, or like just the vibe of the room when that went down. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I mean, and now people are making fun of it. People are putting it at the end of other movies that have like copying it per se, and I just think that is hilarious. It's really funny. Probably, I mean, it's just a great closing song for a lot of stuff. I don't know. I think they did it for Batman, like Batman Begins or something, or they did it for like It was a few movies that they did that for. I'm trying to remember all of them. I don't know if it was The Batman with Robert Pattinson, or if it was Batman Begins with Christian Bale. But they definitely put it over like a bunch of the songs that were coming out at the time, and they were like, if this movie came out in 2007, and then they put the Linkin Park at the end, and it just works. I don't know why. It just definitely has that sound to it. It just a great closing song, you know? Some songs be like that. So overall, when you're watching Transformers, think to yourself, what if I bought my first car and it was an alien machine? Right? Just think that to yourself, okay? And then think to yourself, not only do I own this car, I have to now join in a war to fight against more of these things, okay? And then on top of that, right, because there's more to it, obviously, you have to deal with the military and the government. You have to deal with, like, this sense of, like, people are going to come after you to try to kill you, and you have to save the world, essentially. But there's also this really, really hot chick that's, like, that you also want to be with, and you're just juggling a bunch of things at one time, and now all of a sudden you're about to die. But it all works out in the end because Linkin Park, you know, you get a speech from Optimus Prime, and Linkin Park plays at the end. So when you're watching Transformers 2007, just, you know, have fun with it and enjoy the action. It's a fun ride, and Shia LaBeouf definitely kills it in this role. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you guys all next time. Thank you.